one last message, and I am going to be pulling it from angel numbers. One last message for Kia ora, and welcome back to this Southern Star sequence where we've been diving into, my friends. I hope you're all well today. So let's get right into this journey that started with 24, 23, 21, that broke these numbers up, and then the 22 that appeared, and amongst all of that, we had that number constantly. And we looked through the cycles and we challenged and we reflected, and we're trying to take action. But today, we are going to step into the energies that showed and that were missing, and how these forces silently shape the path of this 4-part series, which only was supposed to be a 1 and a 2, and what they reveal about how to navigate turbulence personally and globally. Let's just take a deep breath for a moment, settle in, no Māori, and notice the patterns. As we reflect on the sequences and the deck, I think you all can agree that there was something missing, but it didn't make sense to me. And then the other day, as I was clearing up the tarot reading space, a card fell out. And that card tied in with those 5s there. And it also tied in with the 5 of Pentacles and the 5 of Wands that showed up. So let's have a look and see. I'm just going to put this aside for a moment. We'll get back to that. Let's just have a look here. What card popped up? I just want to move these aside here. And I'm just revealing sort of, you'll recognize some of the cards that has popped up, but it was this card. It literally, I wish I was recording it, but it literally fell out of the pack. And think of the number 25, and 25 never appeared between the 24s, the 23s, and the 26s. Yet the 21s and the 22s showed up. And then suddenly in my sequence of numbers that I saw, 1015 was missing. And the 15 and the 5 was the first sign of the loop. And if you remember, I said the 2015-2025 loop as well. And that was the sign of this loop, the beginning of the disruption, the showing of greed, corruption, and a broken system. And it made me wonder how this Hierophant, this number 5, stepped in, why it fell out of it. And this card explains why 25 or 2025 never showed up. This is missing guidance, the ethical voice that had been absent, the 5 energy that was scattered. And if you remember, the 5 of Pentacles and the 5 of Wands showed up in the reading. And this tied in with the 1015 and 1015. But then my guides told me just to have a look and see at the other fives in the deck. And it was the Five of Swords and the Five of Cups. Look at the bully there. Keeps taking, wants everything for himself. And there is a Five of Cups. And if you look there, the three cups lying there, that also tied in with the threes that we had as well. The Three of Swords and the Three of Pentacles. Haven't we felt bullied, etc., etc., 2015, 2025? Was 2025 not a year that felt like you bullied? All the losses we had. And I did a video on the Great Exit. I'll link it in the description, of losses that we've had. But there is still something remaining. There's still two remaining. And doesn't that tie in with all the twos that's been showing up? And if you look at this card here, again, there's two swords lying on the ground. Three things have been stolen. Three things have been lost. Then we look here. There's two again there. Then we can see there's three ones in the air and two pointing to the side. You cannot make this up, my friends. You cannot make this up. All of this was pointing to corrupt, warmongering, self-service systems. But when this Hierophant, I'm just going to put these aside, but when this Hierophant fell out of the deck, it connected the fives. And it's telling me a rebalance and a restoration of ethical guidance. Even when governments and institutions fail. But this constant 1020 that we had made me think a little bit deeper as well. And I looked at some of the cards that had come out. Let me just show you quickly here. There was our 10, 15, 25. But now look at something very interesting here. 10, 20, 10, 20. Again, a loop is formed. And then, if you look at the 10 and 20, it's a 1 and a 0, and a 2 and a 0. But then there is also a 10 and a 20. Stay with me. Stay with me. I haven't lost it. I haven't lost it. I'll show you now how this all worked. I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to put this aside here for a moment again. Now, I'm lifting up this deck here, and I'll show you how it all ties in to what's going on there. Magician. The Magician showed up. Number 1. It's personal, it's power, it's manifestation. But what is 0 in the deck? I'm just going to shift those up. We'll get to those. What is showing up here? 0 is the Fool. Stepping into unknown cycles and courage. You see how it links in? The 1 and the 0. And what is the number 2 card? It's our High Priestess. It's the High Priestess. But then what repeats here? The High Priestess is our reflection and our intuition. But then we've got the 0 repeating again. And that's the Fool. Adapting, flowing, and following change. Going through all the steps of the cards. But now, remember I said here we can look at it as differences as well. I'm just going to move these because this is quite a depth reading and analysis here. I'm just putting that aside. So I've just got some space here. So there we've got those. And remember, we still had the Fool in there as well. Okay? But now look at it as a number of 10 cycles. And this is where I have the Wheel of Fortune. Turning points. Inevitable movement of events. Then remember, Judgment also showed up. And that is clearly an awakening, clarity, rebalancing, and a call to action. Remember that. See there, that's your 10 and your 20. But also, with this 10-20 being constant, it's this number that has guided the system, that's guided this reading. But then when this Hierophant joined in here, it broke and is breaking this missing 25 loop. And remember, I said 25 was a lineal number. There's no card in the tarot deck that's 25. And this that is now in here is what I refer to as the tens. You have a look here, the tens. Remember, we had a 10 of Swords and a 10 of Wands briefly showing. So this is now where the balance is coming in. But then it made me think, and the Swords is an acknowledging of the end of old suffering, and highlighting the 10 of Wands, which I think it was just in an underlying that they showed, but it was still not there. But this 10 of Wands is showing the burdens that are being released. Burdens that are being released. And then it came to mind that, you know what else not there? The 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles. The promises of harmony and stability. And between all of this, if you guys remember, if you've watched it, if you guys remember, amongst all of this, we had this Queen of Pentacles sitting here, quietly, trying to balance things, trying to bring this into fruition. And remember I said it was the feminine energy. Look here. Thus far, we haven't had any kings showing up. That masculine energy. And what is so interesting to me is that you would think that with the 10 of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles, that somewhere, somehow, this king must be featured. But the King of Pentacles is missing. And this Queen of Pentacles showed up to remind us to nurture, to care, and that grounding remains present. And this is just so amazing how this all just tied in. And if you have a look here, doesn't this mirror what is currently happening globally, politically, and maybe even personally for you, and all the turbulence and all the chaos that has led up to this point? And we remember here our 24 and our 23 anchored the cycle and repetition and duality. But then we had this 21 sequence stepping in, which was the world card, if you remember from part 3. And this world, the world, everybody, the collective in the world, decided to break up these numbers. And remember, briefly, we had the 222 stepping in. The feminine force. If we just have a look here, the feminine energy. Feminine energy. And this 21 that broke the 24 and the 23 was signaling disruption and cracks, not collapse. Because remember, the Tower card never showed up. So things is not lost yet, my friends. They're not lost. Cracks have been showing. And yet still we had this 1020 as the stabilizer, steadying us and guiding us. And the cards, I've been telling us a story here. Cards have been telling us a story here. And let's look at this little story here. The Magician, the Fool, the High Priestess, the Wheel of Fortune. Let me just do this. The Wheel of Fortune and Judgment. Courage, reflection, discernment, cycles awakening. And if you guys remember, there's another part of the story. The two knights, the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. Measured action, persistence, and passion. And notice, we didn't have the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Cups. We didn't have that coming in as well. So emotions and action has been left out of this equation. And remember, the Queen of Swords also showed a face, yet another feminine energy. Clarity, discernment, seeing truth amidst deception. And if you notice, the moon didn't show up either. Then we also had the Empress showing up. Nurturing, growth, structure, ethical authority. But the Tower card was still not there, which tells me that not all is lost. And that this 5 is restoring guidance. It will be bringing us strength, hope, illumination, and resilience. Harmony. We just have a look here again, what it's telling us. Relations, balance, prosperity. Movement. Journey. Patterns. Good times. Good times. And the 10 of Swords and the 10 of Wands here, on the one side of the scale. And then you've got the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles on the other side of the scale. Now, that brings me to this here. The world. Completion of cycles. Bridging into 2026. I hope I've made sense. I hope this resonates with you. If you've been with me this far, my friends, thank you for putting up with my woo-woo and these sequences and these numbers. There's a reason why these things popped up. And remember, as we said in part 3, Aotearoa, the universe is guiding us to act ethically, remain grounded, and see a path through chaos. The years reflect these cycles. Remember how I said 2025 is 9 and 2026 is 10. 9 endings, shedding, the year of the snake, dangerous, transformative. 2026, 10, completion, stepping forward, year of the horse. You have the horse. Movement, opportunity. And if we allow the Hierophant to become part of this 1020, this anchor, then the 10s are now fully integrated and the path is clear. The sequence rebalances greed, corruption, and chaotic cycles, guiding us into ethical action and hope. And if we also noticed here, justice also didn't show. And why did justice not show us? Because we're not ready for it yet. Because there are still forces opposite working, but there is motion working towards it. And I think with this I can say that the Southern Star sequence has now come full circle. The numbers 24, 23, 21, 22, and our favorite friend 1020 has given us a map for navigating turbulence. This Hierophant here rebalance. This is the scattered fives, including the 5 and the 1015. See how in the 1015 there was also a 10. See how there was also a 10 there, which is rebalancing all those 10s that we've had. It is rebalancing the 5 of wands, the 5 of pentacles, the 5 of cups, the 5 of swords. And it's restoring balance to the pentacles and the 10s. 10 of cups, 10 of pentacles. We've got here knights and swords and empresses and the world and wheel of fortune and the 10s. Clarity and hope. Clarity and hope. This Queen of Pentacles that is present, this feminine energy, with the King of Pentacles missing, is a way I think the universe is reminding us to nurture and care and make sure that nurturing and care is present. Even when masculine greed, I want to say persist. Now I'm going to say, no Mari, settle. Aotearoa, act with compassion. Arataki, follow the numbers, the cards, and step forward with clarity, courage, and hope in 2026. I'll repeat that one more time, my friends. No Mari, settle. Aotearoa, act with compassion. Arataki, follow the numbers, the cards, and step forward with clarity and hope into the rest of 2026. Please do leave a comment, and thank you for watching to the end. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to do one quick thing and see if the cards have got one last message here for us. One last message. And I am going to be pulling it from angel numbers. One last message for the collective. A very quick, one last message. Let's see, one last message. That one has come up. No, you cannot make this up. You cannot make this up. I have got chills. The big break. An opportunity. Help. Extra cash. Other support is coming your way. So keep going and have fun when performing your task. The most tremendous success comes from passion. All efforts will be rewarded big time. Focus, creation, progress, forward movement, and goals. I've got chills. You cannot make this up. And with that, I can only but say thank you to the universe for listening and sending this message. With gratitude, I give you this message. Until I see you online again, my friends, I'll speak to you soon. Click on these links that will appear here, and please stay safe out there wherever you are. And don't be foolish, but be brave like